Hello, all, and welcome to this Friday afternoon beer review. So, yeah, I'm going to dub this one the Lazy Friday, but tomorrow is going to be productive because tomorrow I'm going to do my taxes. Um, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun because doing taxes is always fun. I hope my luck improves. Been having a run of bad luck. So, what are we reviewing this week? Well, I haven't had this since I last reviewed it. Well, maybe once I've had it since I've last reviewed it, but I reviewed this back in about 2014, 2015. It was one of the first beers I reviewed, and I pretty much sincerely enjoyed it. They've changed the label, as you can see. And what is this? This is Red Chair Northwest Pale Ale from Deschutes. And it says here, freshest within 4 months. And this was packaged on 12/8/22. So it's the start of March. So right on the line there, but we're going to be finishing the last three beers of this sixer tonight. And I found it was pretty okay. It didn't have any flaws to me. So 60 IBUs, 6.2 ABV, bundle up besides this citrusy, smooth ale that's an insider's ride to fresh thrills. So I enjoy this more than the Mirror Pond Pale Ale. I think just because of the malts they use in it. So why haven't I had it since? Well, it's a limited edition. And with myself, you know, when you're doing a lot of reviews, like I do, well, I did anyway, you don't really have time to go and revisit a lot of the beers you really like. So I make time for like my favorite sours and of course Anchor Steam. But a lot of beers that I sincerely enjoyed and reviewed positively in the past, I don't really get back around to because I'm always reviewing new things. So I think you know 7 or 8 years since it's been since I've last reviewed this. It's high time I go and review it again. Hard to believe I've been doing this for almost damn near a decade already. I should go and look back to go and see, how far back it is because yeah, it's been a very very long time I've been doing these reviews. So, without much further ado, let's go and pour this out. So this is bottle conditioned. I forgot about that, and the first one I poured went absolutely crazy. You pop it open and you get that nice smell of West Coast hops. Okay, perfect pour. Not too much, not too little. And yeah, I know I need to replace my camera. It's looking a little bit bad here. So, a sort of amber orange color with an off-white, thick, fluffy off-white head. Redolent of citrus zest, pine. I kind of miss that kind of traditional. I guess it's not really traditional, since old world hops don't have pine really. But you know, old school pale ale, India pale ale hopping there. Citrus, pine. Underneath, crackery to bready malts. They come across as slightly toasty. Just ever so slightly. And onto the palate now, shall we? Up front, hop bitterness. decent carbonation bite. It's a sort of pithy, um, citrus rind kind of bitterness up front. And into the mids, the malts emerge. Ever so slightly toasty, ever so slightly caramelized. Remains in the finish. The malting diminishes faster than the hopping, and you're left with a sort of bitter hop finish, but just enough so that it doesn't really feel like your taste buds have been nuked or it's too tannic on the palate. When I originally reviewed this, it was classified under Pale Ale. Now it's classified under Northwest Pale Ale. It is not as bitter as West Coast IPAs have become nowadays for the style, but it definitely is more bitter than your sort of average pale ale. Well, American pale ale. While still having, the pale ale's balance of malts to hops. I was, as an aside, I was making a joke with my dad. We were watching this show. Um, there's this guy going in Japan, and he's just really so into it. It's like, so he's drinking like this tea and eating like these traditional Japanese sweets. It's like, ah, perfect balance. The sweetness of the wakashi is completely balanced by the bitter toastiness of the tea. And so we have the sweetness of the malts is completely balanced by the hop bitterness. But I joke, but I say that because this particular beer, it's really well balanced. At the same time, bit more hopped than your average American pale ale. Well, what's left of that style anyway. Pale ales have really, they used to be like the craft flagship. Now they're actually kind of hard to find outside of the various big ones, flagship big ones like Mirror Pond and Sierra Nevada. What was I going at? you know, but not quite as hoppy as in West Coast IPA. Northwest Pale Ale is a pretty good. It's a pretty good descriptor for it. But what you should take away from this is that it is an exceedingly well balanced beer, which is why I've enjoyed this revisiting of it. I kind of think that if I had this really fresh, the aromatic aspects of the hops would be a little bit brighter, but it's not faded or it's not faded. Well, maybe slightly faded, but it's not stale or bad or anything. It's still got that hop presence in the nose and on the palate, but still, like it says, you kind of want this more on the fresh side rather than kind of edging into that 4 month period, like I'm doing here. So if you get a chance to go and try this, I would definitely would. I definitely would. It's a pretty good beer. And that, folks, is your beer review for this Friday afternoon. Cheers.